Welcome, guys. Like I say, we just got done with Mower Mountain, and it was awesome. It was so cool. And we keep saying this every year. It was just our best Mower Mountain for sure. It was our fault. We had so many people. We're getting to the point where we were talking about the ability to handle more people, because we were definitely pushed to our limits this time. You know, we talked about maybe doing 2 Mower Mountains in a row each weekend, and I about died on that one. That was Tom Jr.'s suggestion. I was like, oh my gosh. And also, when you have everyone together, you know, splitting them up and stuff, it would just be nice to get everybody at the same place. You know, we used to do Mower Mountain in Jackson Hole in my dad's previous company, because we didn't have the property that we have now, and that was his favorite place to be. I remember planning those and getting everyone there, and 500 was our limit there. That was about all that Jackson could kind of take as far as the hotels, and that could have that many people in for meeting rooms and different things like that. And maybe it's bigger now, but we're getting to our capacity now. But boy, every year we just get better and better, and it's just awesome. We're going to start our kickoff on the Mower Mountain recap. We're going to go over some stuff, but you haven't heard a lot from anybody at corporate, and that's just because we've just been so crazy with Mower Mountain, everybody. So, and it was a success, an awesome time. We've got so many cool things that we're now doing, as you can see, you know, the hand lotions and the body washes, and the summer one came out, at least for the US, at Mower Mountain, and plus a whole bunch of new products that we'll talk about. I've got people lined up to come and talk and do their presentations for you. I couldn't get anybody to do this today. I asked a few people, and they're like, not this week. And I'll do mine. Mine was a bit shorter because I had another presentation that I'm not going to put on this one. Also, they were going over the presentations and taking out a few names, numbers, talking about companies, other companies. We didn't want names in, so they wanted to go through and kind of change some of that before they let everybody have them. Because as you guys see them, we want you to have them. But let's start from the beginning. Guys, welcome. Thanks for coming. And thank you for being patient with us. We had a few distributors calling in and just saying that it was hard to get different things from corporate. And if you could just see how crazy it is, like, you know, it's just not, we're just to our limits. Our bandwidth is just, you know, pushed to the extremes. It was kind of funny because there were some, I think I maybe mentioned this, but some women who were coming in early. And when they saw me, they're like, Leisel, we've been here for 4 days and we wanted you, you know, they're Amish, so they don't have a phone. They'd sent a letter. And by the time I got the letter, they had left because they were driving, had a driver, and they were kind of doing a road trip. So they got here and they were like, we just want you to show us around and different parts of Utah and this before Mower Mountain. I was just like, there is no way, you know. And even after Mower Mountain, everybody left. We had our gala on Saturday night. On Sunday, we had one more event up at where my dad's pond is, and we had the Japanese distributors up. It's the first time they've been to Mower Mountain for a couple of years, which was really cool. But just as we were even on the grill, it was Father's Day here. Tom was like, this was one too many things that we planned. I said, yes, it is. His eyes were just like red, and we were all dragging. And I laid down one time at like, oh gosh, 7, and didn't wake up till 3:30 that next morning. So just to let you know, it was really crazy. So appreciate your guys' patience in that, you know, because I know you don't get a lot of help during that time. But like I say, it's a great event, and wish more of us could come, and we want to make that possible. Do some contests just for our countries, New Zealand and Australia, so that it's, you know, we're not competing with everybody out there, and just also having some competitions where it's not how big is your group or different things like that. So we're trying to make some different things like that, because I know when you come come over, and several of you have been over. It's just a great experience. Of course, Supra, again, was everyone's favorite. Mower Mountain's way fun. We do the shooting, and now we have some different things like disc golf. Do you guys have that in Australia? It's getting really big here in the US. It's crazy, but we set up, some disc golfing, and it's just Frisbees that go in these baskets, and it's getting very popular. But just some fun things, of course, the horses, the ATVs, and, just some fun little things we do that keep getting everybody in here. So everyone loves that day. Of course, the day that we're outside, it rained like crazy. So just for the first part of the day. But so we were just like, what do we do? We brought them in. We set up volleyball net and some different things. We did that and ate lunch. And by the time that was done, it was over and we all went back outside again. But just a super fun day. Now, Supra, like I said, the next day is truly getting to be that tour that we do, everyone's favorite. I think I told you last time, we have different spots where we each sit. We have about 8 of them. And then we have our employees bring each group around, and we kind of talk about the area we're in, what we do in that area. I did the personal care area and just kind of talked about, what we do there, what we put together there. Basically, we put together everything in our personal care and skincare products in that area, and everything from bottling it, putting the labels on, capping it, filling it. Everything is done in one room. And it was very cool this time because we had something running. They were able to see it kind of go through the whole line, which is a lot of fun to see things filled, capped, and, go through machines. They just absolutely love that. I also brought down a labeler that was from the upstairs. The only thing that we label right now is a few of our tubes, and we're going to be doing away with that and making all of our tubes and bottles so that we're just trying to get away from labels. So I think you guys will love that news, because those who came by were really loving that. But I let them hand label a few of our tubes. We were doing the firming facial cleanser. So they were able to do that. It's a little harder than you think. The bottles and everything, those are all done by machine, everything, like I said, for machine. And as they kind of whirl around and get there and they come in contact with a labeler, it puts it on and then spits it through into the next thing. And of course, you can't picture it as I say it because I don't do a very good job. But I'm telling you, if you have not been to Supra, it is an amazing, amazing building and experience, and just one where you're just like, and even though the building is very big, you go in there and everybody comes out and just says, I didn't realize how big it was. So Julie says summer catalog looks great. And it is great. People were super excited. We're going to talk about those products in the next few country calls, the ingredients, the science behind them, some different fun things like that. So we've got some really fun things to talk about. We have our June promo, which is the Sisel Silver, For Restore, and the M Brothers Beard Oil. This was kind of meant for the men, as at least in the US, it's Father's Day. So you kind of see that with that $27 savings. So, and who loved the deal of the day? As we put that together, I knew you guys would just absolutely love it. And everybody went crazy with that. So hopefully everybody had a chance to see that and get the age as it was for sale in, I think, the single 2-pack and also 6-pack. Am I right on that, guys? So that was a lot of fun. As far as back orders, and I'm actually going to need your help because I called and somebody was like, I'm not sure. Ripped will be turned on Monday. The coffee was just turned on. Does anyone have, am I missing any other products that are on back order? If anybody wants to unmute and tell me. Or is that it? Anybody know? I know it was ripped. Like I say, that will be on Monday.
I think it's just the rip and the coffee because I had called in about that and they said it would be available Monday.
But the coffee's on now.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the coffee's on now.
Leisel?
Yes.
Leisel, can I just say, I rang this morning, customer service this morning, and I had super shave gel, and it's on back order, even though it doesn't say it in the back office. When I placed my orders with Tyler 3 days ago, it's actually held up because of that. It still hasn't gone. So I said to them, and it doesn't say it in the back office, but it's because the customer service lady said to me, it's held up because of super shave gel being on back order. But so someone perhaps needs to put it, if it is on back order, maybe put it on the thing so people know.
So when that happens, it's kind of a good news type thing. And thank you for letting me know. We don't put it on the back order list, which means it's very close to just being released. So,
okay.
Yep. So we don't want to hold it up on back order. And hold on one sec, guys. I'm getting a message and sometimes but yes, so like I say, if sometimes we don't put them on the list because Thomas says we're very close. So we just kind of hold it a few days and then wait for whatever it is. So that's actually good news that he's not putting it on the list, and you'll see it released probably the next day or two.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. So, okay, guys, we are already planning obviously our Mower Mountain for next year, but we're also planning a convention. And I'd like your guys' input on different things you'd like to see. I don't know any of you here, maybe you can unmute if you were, but there was a cruise. That was the last one, I think, a convention type that we did with my dad. And we're kind of looking maybe at that. That was a lot of fun. But I'd like your input on different areas that you'd like to see. This isn't Mower Mountain. This is a convention. Where you go somewhere, we've kind of done Improvo quite a bit, but it's also nice to go somewhere fun. And we've had a few things just kind of thrown out there, and that kind of seems to be a popular one. But maybe you can put in the chats, kind of type where you'd like to go, or think about that in the next few days, what you think, and kind of give us your feedback, because we'd like to hear, especially from some of our other countries, of where you guys go. We want to make sure that it doesn't cost any particular group a lot of money to get there. So give me your feedback on that, because I would love to hear it. All right, guys. Oh, I have some great news. I was so excited about this. So we talked last week about the oils and the atomizer, and now they can be shipped together. So there was some way that they talked to our shipper. I don't know if any of you have already placed an order for this, but you do not have to do it in 2 orders now. So I was so excited about that. That was kind of just a little bummer there, and that's been fixed. So no worries about the oils. They can be shipped together with the atomizer, which I love. I love the size of it. It's just very cool. So, and has anyone placed an order for any of the summer catalog products yet? Yes, it was on my invoice. Yeah, Jen, good. Yeah, I knew we'd be super excited about that. Okay, guys, I want to talk about something that we had our first council place orders on everything. Yeah, they were so excited about that. And, one thing we're doing, I kind of want to talk about this and get into a little, I don't want to talk about it too much, but we've come out with the horse collagen, which is just such a great product for horses and, of course, for the Amish community and others as well. It can be used for other animals, but it is the first in a series of animal products, guys. So this is very cool. I know Katie years ago was talking about that and just saying, when can we use or get some products for the animals? My dad would always say, which is true. We've got products and they can be used for the animals and certain dosages, but to have them labeled and packaged and put that way will be really exciting. And this first product to come out, which is called Max Motion, was a big seller at Mower Mountain, and I think you guys will love it. So just to let you know, it's the first in the beginning of a whole product line for animals. So very cool, especially for the animal lovers. And honestly, it actually opens the door for a lot of people who many times they look at personal care products, even if it's products like, hold on a minute, our healthcare products, personal care. There's a lot of guys who don't really feel comfortable talking about that. But as we get into some of these product lines, like the collagen for animals, it kind of gives them something that they can talk about that they're comfortable with. We're looking for some products and product lines that kind of make it easier for a guy to get out there and talk to other guys about. So we kind of had some fun meetings about that and thought we'd talk to some of our leaders and of course you guys as well and look at products that we could add to, I don't want to call it a men's line, but because we will have one, but just products that I think men can talk about a little more easily than the products that we have. So kind of keep that in mind. I think this is definitely one of them, especially like I said, for, our groups here, but really for anyone. As like I said, this can be used for other animals, and I've got some great paperwork on that as well. All right, let me keep letting people in. So this Mower Mountain, I talked about the Mower mission, and I had another presentation that I gave as well. And I'm going to just talk about the Mower mission because my first presentation has to be gone over, have some slides taken out. So I'm just going to go over mine very quickly. And kind of show you what I talked about. And then I want to talk to you about one issue as we kind of tie things out. Not issue, but something I want to talk to you guys about. Get your feedback, something I've already talked to you about, and would love for you guys to, as we talked with the council, we kind of had some different opinions and a few people just saying, let's bring this up again, which is what the council's for, kind of go over some of the issues that we're talking about for our market, what we want to do there, and where we want to take things. So, of course, we want your feedback as well. And we wanted to kind of get back in touch with you guys and get your feedback on some of the stuff we're talking about. So I'll talk about that after the PowerPoint. Now, you guys can have all the PowerPoints. People have been asking about them if they can have them. Like I said, yes, but we're redoing some of them. And this is just a fun one. Now, what we've decided to do with this, can you guys see that? I know there's a way to make it look better. No, I never know how to do it. Okay, I'm going to try something, you guys. And if I mess it up, okay, is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Now I've just got to push it forward. Okay, we're going to take the Mower mission I did before, because that one had like 36 slides, and it was a lot of my dad and his family and kind of just his past, how he grew up, his ancestors. I loved it. I thought it was very cool. And kind of put this with that and put together a Mower mission for everyone. Hold on 1 second, guys. I kind of want to grab my notes because there was, this is it. There was an interview with my dad that I was able to find, and it was awesome. And I took a few additional notes that I have on my PowerPoint. Okay, guys, just 1 second. Yes, okay, there it is. So here's the funny thing as we got to this, I kind of sent a note to Ed and just said, hey, I'm going to talk about the Mower mission, of course, the foundation of everything we do and everything we talk about. But as we did that, I'd sent him a note and said, put the definition of what we call this. And he kind of came back and said, we really don't have one, which made us all laugh because we're like, okay. And actually, I took this from one of our Aussie's websites that kind of made sense to me, and I liked it. She might recognize it. A Mower mission is our mission is to build a community of people who want to share products made from safe, effective, non-toxic ingredients that can keep your family safe, healthy, and happy. I'm really stuffy right now, you guys, so you'll have to not mind me. My allergies are really kicking up right now. But we kind of had to laugh because we said, we don't really have our own. We have it. We know what it is. We all talk about it. But really, guys, it was kind of interesting to us. So we're working on this. Any feedback again on that? But I loved this. It was not on our website, but I thought it kind of entailed what we talk about and what we believe. Of course, safe, effective products make non-toxic ingredients for sure. Of course, Dad started this all. And, the interesting thing about Dad is just how he started. And he started in his own business with industrial chemicals. And, someone asked him to make shampoo. And many of you know this story, but it all started literally with someone asking him to make a shampoo. And it was for one of my brothers. And his hair, he was losing his hair. And as my dad started to look at the shampoos out there, he saw, of course, the same ingredients that were in many of the products that he used to degrease floors. Like you can see on here, slaughterhouse degreasers. I really loved this PowerPoint because it was how my dad spoke. Let me move this so I can read it in a way. He says, I was stunned. I had never really looked at the shampoo I was using. When I read the ingredients, I said, great Godfrey. I thought that was so funny. Like, is that Tom Sr. or what? Great Godfrey. That's what I put in the garage floor cleaner and slaughterhouse degreasers. These ingredients are not only toxic, but they are also damaging to the membranes of the skin. They can damage organs. How can they make shampoo from this stuff? That put me on a mission. I reformatted shampoo that didn't use any toxic ingredients, which was tough to do because the whole industry is designed around these potentially harmful ingredients. It was very fun to see his little interview here that he was doing. And I'm not sure if it was for a newspaper or what, but it was just fun to see the way he spoke. And, he was on a mission then. So his quest for safe but effective products began with something very simple, and that was just for his shampoo. And of course, from then on, he moved and started to work on products for your skin and personal care. And as he looked around, again, the same. And he said, these are his words, this is a nightmare. It's a bottle full of toxins. He said he started to do worldwide research that showed me there was a world of scientific research out there of powerful, safe, effective products that are not getting to the marketplace. So that's kind of what he did, is just grab several products, of course, that we had on our shelves and ones from the stores and started to look at them, hence turn the bottle. You all know my personal story with my dad. And go blow my nose in a second, guys. I'm so stuffy. But of course, when I was going on a trip with him and he turned the bottle on some lotion that I wanted, and he just wouldn't buy it for me. So that's exactly how he started. And it's exactly what we teach and talk about when we talk about people coming in here. Take a look at the products that you have in your bathrooms. Take a look at the products that you have under your sinks. Turn the bottle, look at those ingredients, and look at the toxins. Obviously, educate yourself. So I always say to Tom, I really wish, because I was in high school during that time, I wish I was a little more aware of what he was doing. You get busy with your own stuff. Of course, he and I had that experience at the store, and I could see that Dad was serious about what he was doing. But I wish I would have been watching him, because just to start a company at that point and really throw himself into it, I wish I would have had a little more, just memories of him doing that, because, Dad does everything, 100% or more. So just that he did this all while we're going to school and doing all these things, I just think it's so cool. So he began his exhaustive research and scientific studies, looking at the worldwide research that showed there is a world of research out there. He had found his calling, and it became the driving force of his previous companies, and of course now Sisel. And it really did. If you look at this, and I say pioneers in the industry, because really today we have lots of other companies that have the ingredients, harmful ingredients listed on the front, or ingredients that are good, listed on the front. This was not how it was. And when Dad first started to do this, talking with Tom Jr., he just said, people don't realize that Dad was the first. And we were sued by Estee Lauder and Paul Mitchell, asking us, to take the claims that we were saying. We got cease and desist orders to tell us to stop talking about sodium lauryl sulfate. So this was truly, Dad making a wave in this industry. And people, of course, they don't want that. These products, I will say they're effective only because they feel good. They're cheap. People are used to them. People don't know that they're bad. So they don't want someone coming in there and disrupting that. And that's what Dad was a disruptor. And I loved Dad saying that, because Dad said that he was, and I used to tease him because he'd say, I'm a disruptor. And I said, you are totally a disruptor. But he was very proud of that. And you had to be, because you can imagine these big companies going after you. And at a time when you're small, Dad had no money, none, no attorneys on staff or anything like that. So Dad had a lot of heat during this time. People were talking about fluoride. Now, I'm not sure how it is in Australia, but in the US, I remember in class, they'd bring it out on a tray with these little cups, and they'd bring it to each of us, and we'd swish with it. Did you guys have that at all? Anybody unmute and tell me that?
I don't remember anything regarding that. I do remember that the one of the things we used to do here was definitely mention potential harmful ingredients. But there was a lot of information that was sent out. I think it was actually finally printed in a magazine, or like a 3 or 4 page brochure, and it had a lot of the things that a range of different companies, well-known companies, had ingredients within their products. But he also printed out something to do with some of the scientific discoveries that had been made, or information that wasn't out there, that was kept private to the public.
That's right.
And that really, because I know here in Australia there was a few companies that decided to sue, and we, on our back then videos, we actually had to put, I'm only trying to go by memory here, but something to do with it was almost a disclaimer, in that it was saying that not all companies do that. They pointed it out, and so it was a matter of getting people to look at the back of the bottle. And that wasn't just on skincare. Sorry, on shampoos. It was on skincare. It was on
absolutely
everything.
Everything you had,
Yeah, I remember a story your dad actually said was that, and I'm just trying to remember this. Sorry, my mind went blank for a second. No, I'll think of it later.
That's all right. When you think about it, you let me know. But you're absolutely right. It was just everything, and that's what he taught people. And we've talked about the campaign he had of, oh gosh, you guys will know it, many of you. And it was what was it, guys? Something your bathroom. Can you guys remember the wording of it? And it was awesome. I was talking to Tom a while ago, and I said, we should start that campaign. And it was like, convert your bathroom. And people, it was a great sales tool, because you talk to people in the beginning and talk to them about these ingredients. He'd show them where it was in the products that he used for his cleaning companies, and then show them that they're in their personal care products. And then he'd show them the MSDS sheets that talked about needing gloves and protective care gear. And people were just astonished. And at first, of course, people think it's a scare campaign. But the more you read about it and educate yourself, the more they were able to see he really was talking about something serious. For one guy to truly make a dent in this and start this way, it's probably one of the things I'm most proud about Dad, because you look how difficult it is to change anything in a market. And now you look at the whole market that talks about, harmful ingredients. And Dad did it when it wasn't cool to do it. So like I say, fluoride was a big thing in the US. And Dad started talking about that immediately. And he got a lot of backlash on it. 'Cause like I said, it was so powerful that they were bringing it to us through the education systems. And Dad was adamant against it. And of course, talcum powder. Dad came at right the same time for my family. I had Sadie, right as Dad was just 2 or 3 years into his previous company. And I remember him saying, don't use talcum powder. And, even then, because I knew Dad was definitely onto something and believed what he said, but there's still that years and years and years, because my mom used talcum powder and, I didn't want dry babies and stuff, but I remember my dad saying, don't use that. Don't put that down there. And now you look at all the lawsuits with Johnson & Johnson baby powder and the cancers and issues coming from that. And honestly, guys, I'm so thankful that he made me stop doing that, because I'll never forget. That was one product that I remember thinking, it just was something you did when you changed a diaper. You changed a diaper and then you put it on. And Dad was just like, don't. He saw me one time. And I said, really? He's like, yes, don't, please don't. And I didn't. And I look today, and those little things that Dad was so ahead of his time were so cool. I love it. I love it. And I love it. It took a personality like that, Dad. Those of you who knew Dad, it took someone like him who didn't care what people said. He wasn't easily threatened or bullied. And he just truly, in my opinion, he's a pioneer. And I think he's the guy who started this whole thing. And I'm super, super proud of him. But of course, the Mower mission, yes.
Sorry, I just remembered. The other comment that he used to say quite a bit is that, in fact, he told the story about a rep coming in, and he had a chat with this rep, and he was talking about how this particular rep was trying to sell some ingredients to him, and he was surprised at how much your father would spend on ingredients. Oh, yeah. And he said that the companies around, they don't spend more than, and back then I'll go by what the price was back then, more than about $4,000 a pound. Mm-hmm. And of course your dad was spending huge amounts in comparison. Yeah. And he also said, and he kept on talking to everybody, obviously only here in Australia that I can remember, but the cap was more expensive or cost more than the ingredients in the bottle. Mm-hmm. And which that was a line everybody started to use constantly, again and again. And he said that the difference is that our ingredients are effective. You don't need a lot in order for it to become effective and do the job that it's required. And because people had started to, particularly Wrinkle Guard and a few others, it must cost huge amounts. But when they see the price and it's effective, they start to reconsider.
Yes, absolutely. And years ago, like you said, that really was something that caught on, that, the packaging was worth more than the what's in it. And that's true still today. And, we'll have people come around and they'll talk to us about ingredients that they have, or you'll read something and someone will fly in and bring you the information on it. Once you make a product, and they'll talk about how much you might need. And then, of course, we come down and making our products, we have to cost it all out. I was literally surprised when I first started to really work with Dad to see just how true that was, just the amounts, because, bottles, they're not really that expensive. You get some, you don't want to go over, I don't know. It's depending on what it is, tubes are a lot less expensive, but skincare bottling, you can get a really beautiful tub for 30 cents. If you buy a lot more, it goes less. But then you look at the ingredients that are less than that. And I was really surprised to see that some of the ingredients out there that others used, and the amounts that they used truly were far less. And I'm talking when you did the math on it, they were like 4 cents, another ingredient, 6 cents. And I was just like, wow, I don't know. You listen to, like Maurice, you said, this was a line that, in a sentence that really caught fire. And it was true. The ingredients are the bottle is worth more than the ingredients. And to truly see that as these guys come around and show you the new ingredients that they want to talk to you about, how much to put in, how much it'll cost in your products. Like, it's sad, it's sad that people really don't know what's in their bottle, how much it costs, and the fact that it's basically useless in there. So, and Dad wanted everything to work. So he used a lot of everything that he bought. So there's Tom, and who's amazing. And, the one thing I love about Tom is the need today is still the same. And just looking at this article I came on, this is in 2014. But this is still Harvard. And after all these years, you look at when Dad started, and all these years later, even though this is about 9 years old now, but even Harvard back then is saying, they had this article that was talking about harmful ingredients. They say under a new law, or under a law that has not been updated since 1938, this is Harvard speaking, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has little power to regulate ingredients in personal care products. Even known offenders such as formaldehyde, triclosan, phthalates are still legally permissible in product formulations. Companies are allowed to label their products organic, natural, or hospital approved based on their own interpretation of the terms, Davis said. They can also hide problematic ingredients, which is so true, in proprietary formulations by listing them as fragrance on the label, which still happens today. This is in 2014. This is Harvard being surprised by this. I look at this, and when I read this, I'm like, where are you? Where have you been? I mean, if they're being surprised in 2014 that this is happening, I mean, come on. And it shows you how effective the beauty industry is, the personal care industry is in hiding the things that they've been doing all these years. So I love, you look even 10 years from here of what's happening and what's going on today. And now it's kind of the cool thing to do, to have no harmful ingredients in. And there's lots of lists on the internet of places you can check and put something in and see how bad it is. But even then, it's rated based to the person who is making the list and if they think it's bad or not. So you even have to be really careful about that. But I love that Tom not only was able to follow in Dad's footsteps and see what Dad did, from when he was just a teenager, lugging those barrels up to, the blender to where we are now. But then Tom going on and getting his degree in human biology and chemistry is such an amazing thing. And he really knows, he just has taken off right where Dad left off and is just doing such a brilliant job. I just love to give him credit. And I know you guys all just love him too, but I think Tom has kind of a double whammy there where Dad always wanted to go to school. His parents didn't have the money for it. And even with Tom, I talked about this on my PowerPoint. Tom and I, we wanted to go to school, and Dad was just starting his previous company. He, excuse me, guys. But Dad did not have the money for us to go to school. And, it was kind of funny because we took everyone up to his house. It hasn't sold yet. And they wanted to kind of go through a tour this last weekend. And it was funny to hear people say and ask me, where was your room and where was Tom's, And I said, we didn't grow up here. Our house was a lot smaller. Dad had this house, and I think he built it in like 2006, maybe 2007. So we were gone. We had kids, and we'd go stay there with our kids and stuff. And I'd stay there during the week and I'd go down for work. But we didn't grow up in that house. Dad had a much, much smaller house. And even going to school, Dad was not able to say, hey, I can help you put you through school. Tom and I had to put ourselves through school, working extra jobs and doing whatever we had to do. But I think it's a good thing. And Tom and I talk about that now, of how thankful we are, that Dad pushed us to keep going and go to school, do the things we want and have that benefit the company. And you look at his degree now and how cool that is, not just to have the experience he's had with Dad, because that counts for a lot. And in reality, if he just had that, it would be enough, because what Dad had was enough. And Tom's a very, very smart man. But to have his degree with that as well, we are definitely, the need today is definitely still the same, and we have the right man on the job for it. So the answer is still the same, no harmful ingredients. And that's what our foundation is, for sure. But as we talk to our distributors, the Mower mission, and kind of we sat in a meeting talking about the Mower mission and how we don't have something official. And Katie, I have to say that I took that definition from your website. I thought it was very good, so I hope you don't care. But, Tom said, the reality is the Mower mission is what everyone's vision is for how they want to build their business. It's no harmful ingredients. It's helping others, but it's being a different way. And Dad liked to say, be innovative and creative. Work outside the lines and don't be a follower. Those of you who know, he had that sign above his desk that said, I choose not to be a common man. And that's what we also put on his headstone. And we just talked about a few things at Mower Mountain with the people there about the different things that you need to be or that you want to be as you build your vision and what the mission means to you. Because for everyone, it's kind of different. People come in for different reasons, and it might not be the products. It might be the opportunity and different things like that. But we just kind of talked about some fun words, be brave. And Tom kind of threw these out and I wrote them down because I thought they were fun. Be brave, be innovative, be creative, be bold, do it with passion, take chances, things. And, that's one thing, actually, how do I go back? That I love to do is when I get on those Inspire calls and talk to the newest 6-star or 5-star, 7-star, I like to ask them, what would you do different if you had to start over again today? And many of them do talk about, I'd be more bold. I'd take more chances. I wouldn't be so scared to talk to people. So, really cool things. And so in just ending this today, this is a one-word thing, only if you want. And I'm going to hurry around and blow my nose, you guys, I'm sorry. But if anyone wants to unmute and just say, our word for the year is inspire. I love it. I think that's where we are as we progress and we grow. And this year for us, it's inspire. But does anybody have a word for what your vision is for the Mower mission this year? If so, I'd love to hear from you. Just unmute and say your word or a couple words that talk about what your vision is for Sisel and yourself.
Leisel, it's Jen here. I think my word for Sisel is gratitude. Have an attitude of gratitude, and you'll be able to help as many people as you need.
Absolutely. That's a great word. Thank you.
Leisel, I've got 3, not just one word: inform, empower, and educate.
Love that. Love that. And one word I especially love is empower, because that's another thing I've seen with the groups that are really growing is their goal is to empower others. And when you do that, and honestly, it's so much more than words. And sometimes in this industry, we say the words or we hear the words and you think, yeah, but truly when you empower others and it's about helping them, boy, I've seen businesses grow based on just that word. And I'm a believer in that for sure. So thank you with that. Thank you.
Hi, Leisel. It's Margaret here. For me, it's actually disrupt the status quo. I'm on a train at the moment, but you disrupt the status quo. That's a big one of mine. Yeah.
Be a disruptor. Yes, like my dad. I love that, Margaret.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Anybody else?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yep.
Yes, this is Linda from Florida, Bahamas.
Hi, Linda. And you were at Mower Mountain.
Yes, I was.
Okay, so she's one of our new gals, and she was awesome. So I'd love to hear your word.
Yes. And so after experiencing at Mower Mountain, compliments of Bali also, she was instrumental in ensuring that I'm there. I was truly energized.
Yes.
Energized. And definitely will continue to empower my persons, my team in the Bahamas for us to accomplish much more than we have already done. And the product definitely sells itself.
Yes. Yes, they do. Well, I love that. So energized, is that your word or what? Do you have a word?
Yes, the word is energize and empower my person.
Love it. Love it. And I'm glad you're on this call, Linda. And it was fun to see you. So
thank you.
And I keep telling her we all have to have a reason to go to the Bahamas, right, guys? Go see her. So thank you, Linda. Is there anybody else that has a word? No? Okay, guys. So kind of a fun little thing to do there. Whoops, going the wrong way. So from our family to yours, of course, and we just continue on. What the Mower mission was to my dad is what the Mower mission is to us. It doesn't really change too much. You know, we know what dad's mission was, what his goals were. And, you know, especially when dad passed away, there was a lot of questions of where do we go from here? Well, we keep going exactly where we were before, because as you can see from where dad was years and years and years ago, the message is still the same. Dad was doing exactly what maybe new distributors like Linda or others do. Now you don't have to really go over that big of a mountain when you're talking about ingredients, harmful ingredients, because it's kind of the cool thing. And I say the cool thing because in the personal care industry and beauty, it really is about what's cool. And although it's good, it doesn't necessarily mean that they believe it, because it's just an industry that will use whatever they want to sell a product. But they see that people are starting to turn the bottle naturally on their own and looking at the ingredients and knowing, educating themselves. And education was a couple of your words. And that's super important, because if you don't educate on exactly what that means and learn, and it kind of isn't, it's difficult. You know, there are a lot of words out there that's like, what does this mean? And this is a bad one. This is a good one. So, you know, you just take it slow. People don't have to know every single one, but you do want to educate yourself and your team on what's out there that's toxic and what's out there that you can have that's better. And that's exactly where we are. So that's kind of the Mower mission as we are today, and that's where we're going. Now, I'll say this is definitely a year for products. We've got so many coming in the fall. And close to Christmas, we'll still have our Christmas catalog, which I absolutely love. We have our quarterly lotions and washes. And then the first of the year is something that's just going to be so blowout cool. I can't even wait. So lots of cool things happening. And of course, lots of new product formulations. Tom's doing such a great job. We've been testing them, trying them on, and absolutely loving it. So it's a very fun year, guys. And we've got a lot to do out there to kind of help everybody get ready for it, so that as they start to come in, we've got some fun things to do it. And like I said, and I've talked about this for a while, it's been put off a little bit. We've got a program that's coming that I think is going to be, at least for our market, I think it's going to be a great option. You know, there's a lot of Amish in the US, and people were, you know, talking about maybe how they'd respond to it. I think our market would love it. So that's getting very close. That's going to come from marketing, not talking about products. This is a way to talk about your business. So I can't say too much more about that. So just so you know, very, very cool things happening with that. And last but not least, I kind of want to ask you guys about a subject that we talked about before. And that is, we talked about just for our area, our markets, what is the biggest block to, or, you know, the biggest issue and the mountain for you to overcome as far as talking to new people when you get new people on? And is it the price of the products or is it shipping? And let me get out of here and back. We actually talked about this, guys, if you remember, I don't know, a month ago. And it was almost unanimous, but we've had some input since then. Mute everybody. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Let me know if you can't. But we did have some discussion on it afterwards. And because we're going to be doing some different things to help our market in these areas, to make things easier for you to talk to people and to mitigate some of those higher costing issues. So I guess if you're in this market and you want to unmute, I've got Jen saying shipping. But I remember, if you guys remember, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because everyone talked about the price of the products. So feel free, I guess, to unmute. Maybe we can have another vote, because I think we took a vote like a month ago. And think about your business. Think about talking to people. What is the biggest obstacle when you're talking about this business? Is when they see the price of the products? Do they say, oh, that's a lot? Or does it come when all of a sudden they see the shipping? So like I say, I know you guys have talked about this before. So if you could indulge me just one more time, because I can't proceed until I know which area I'm working with and then go into a plan to kind of mitigate that, make it a little easier for us. So it's just one of the projects I'm working on, but one of the biggest in my opinion. So Katie says shipping. Valley says shipping for Canada. Yep. Jenny says shipping. Genevieve says shipping. Anybody want to unmute or chat?
Can I say something, Leisel?
Yep.
It's Jen here. Look, do you know what? When you are buying good products, and we're buying the best products in the world, we expect that they're going to cost, and that's just part of the course. You buy a cheap product, you get it cheap. It costs you to get a good product. The biggest thing that I find is when people are then looking at shipping on top of it. Here in Australia, our shipping is absolutely horrific. By the time you do it in AU dollars, you're looking at sometimes $100 for shipping or more, 70, 100, 110, whatever, and that's where it comes in, is where they can't see value for shipping, because shipping's empty. Okay. Whereas value for product is you're getting an extraordinary product that is life-saving, that changes people's lives, their health and everything. People will pay for that, whereas they balk when they see they've got to pay 70, 80, 100 plus dollars for shipping, because it's empty. Shipping's empty.
Okay. Thank you, Jen. Anybody want to disagree with her? And like I said, this is a conversation. There's no bad, there's no good. It's just what your opinion is as you look at it.
Leisel?
Yes.
Just to comment on that one, would it be, I would like to be able to say to prospects that shipping is free, all your money's refunded after 12 months. Does that apply? That's over 300 PV, I believe. Does that apply?
Yes. I mean, we still have the same promos, but you still have that initial,
Oh, yes. You've got the still initial, but if I can give them confidence that that money will be refunded, even though it's Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. I think where some people struggle with that is those that don't have the ability to do the 300, and probably, and I'm just playing devil's advocate because I see both sides. And I love what you say there, because there is an answer for that for sure, Bob. And that is one of them. What we want to do is make it so that when you're talking to someone new, that what's the easiest thing to say to them that doesn't scare them. And of course, there's a lot of education on, getting your shipping back and different things like that. And although it's absolutely wonderful, we want to keep that. Yes, to me, and I go back and forth, when you look at companies who say free shipping, or close to it, because we could do a close to it. We could never do free. We could do a close to it because we've kind of gone over the numbers. That's a really big thing in today's market. But yes, I agree with you there. There is an answer to that too. So, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I would like most from the company is a promo video, 20 minutes, that I can send to the clients, to the prospect.
Yeah, we're working on some for sure. Yeah, there's been a lot of changes. So we're kind of trying to update those, and we're getting those out. So
just something that will be no more than, say, 20 minutes, that would give a taste of the products and a taste of the business.
We want to make it just a little bit shorter, So, but yeah, just something that goes over the products, the Mower mission, where we come from and stuff like that. We need an updated version of that for sure.
Sorry, can I? I'm just curious, and maybe I've forgotten or something from what was just mentioned. So, is that for a customer, or is that for a distributor when they sign up and they buy $300 worth? If they change their mind and they feel it's not for them, how does that work as far as the full refund? Sorry, I may have been told, but I honestly don't remember.
Well, I guess I'm not sure what you're talking about as far as a refund. Oh, do you mean yeah.
Sorry, what were you just talking about just a moment ago? I missed a bit of it.
Actually, okay, Jen, let me talk to you about this, because you're one who's for this. You look at getting your shipping back, and what do you say the argument is to that? Because if you're getting your shipping back, and this, like I say, we're playing devil's advocate here. If you can get that back, then maybe the argument would be the product pricing. Do you want to talk about why you like that, or anybody who's Katie, Andy?
Yeah, I can say something. So I think Jen mentioned this last time, that it's 250 PV if you spend that or more each month, every month for 12 months. On the 13th month, you get a coupon back of all your shipping reimbursed to spend back on product.
Which, like I said, is costly for a lot of people. But go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, if you skip a month, you lose the shipping reward. So I guess the thing is that, and as Jen had said before, that not everyone can order every month. So some people, are placing orders every second, every third month. Yeah. So therefore that they're not entitled to that rebate. So, So maybe there's something that we could do in that area, because it excludes people who don't order every month of 250 PV or more, and they can be a distributor or a customer.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that you have to be, like Katie said, every single month. I think they might give you a month, but again, that's only for the people who can place those hive orders. So that's usually the leaders and different things like that. I'd like to get something that kind of helps the person who might not be at that place yet in the company. So,
It's Jenny here. Can I make a comment on the shipping refund over the 12 months? While I think it's a great idea, it's usually only the people who are building the business or have got a health issue that they need to order that much. Now, we who are build the business, I feel that those bonus rewards that people get do affect our business, because a lot of people will be buying a lot of product but spending that shipping bonus. Mm-hmm. So for the next months, their orders are much less over that period of time, which then makes the person who is building the business, their income less for that period of time. And it seems to me that most of the shipping bonuses come out around the same time. So a leader's bonuses go right down in the next month or so because of those bonuses.
Yes. Thanks, Jenny. Maurice, were you not aware of that rewards program?
Oh, hang on. Sorry, I had to get back onto. I was aware of the rewards program, but the area that I wasn't sure on was to do with the refund. And as I said, I may have been taught that. I don't remember. And that was what Bob was talking about. So I was a bit confused on what was being said there. Okay. So that's where I needed clarification.
Gotcha. So it's a great rewards program. I think Jenny said what I said, and it is definitely, in my opinion, more of a leader's thing. And I think the goal is to find something that mitigates the new person's entry into Sisel. So that's what I'd like to do, is find the answer, whether it's product pricing or shipping, that mitigates that first contact and discussions with people coming in, so that there's not some like, oh, and is that product, is that shipping? Anybody else want to come in and weigh in on that?
Hey, Leisel. Leisel.
Say that again.
Hey, Leisel, it's Jen here. Oh my goodness, it's just gone straight out of my head what I was going to say. It's all right. It's gone.
Okay. While you're thinking about it, anybody else? Then we can come back to you.
Totally agree with what you said, Leisel. It needs to be at that initial point of people coming into the business. They don't need a negative.
Correct. I agree, 100%.
Hey, Leisel, I remember what I was going to say. Would it be possible, or would it be, it might be totally out of the planet, but on a person's first order, when a new person comes in, could it be a really, really good incentive that they get free shipping?
Well, like I said, because we've talked about that.
Or a very low shipping.
Yes, absolutely it is.
$75 or something.
Yeah. Because we looked at the numbers and we're like, free shipping would be so awesome. Of course, we're talking Australia, but we could get very, very close to it. So that's why I say we've got to make a final decision on, is it product pricing? Because there's got to be some changes in there, as we've all talked about. And we'll talk about that a little more deeper with the council. I just want to know if there's anybody else in this group today that thinks product pricing is the issue that we need to look at.
I'm not sure whether product pricing per se is a concern. It is a concern. It always adds to everything. Mm-hmm. But I also feel that it's also a matter of teaching those who are sharing the business mm-hmm. how to put it to people. I guess the main thing I can go by is my experience when I used to sell insurance. And with insurance, you don't get something solid. You get it's all within the mind, and it's a matter of helping people understand what they're receiving. And what I used, everything that we share is emotional, no matter whether we buy a car, a house, whether we buy medicine or products, health products or anything. It's all emotional, no matter what we do. So, and I had a couple come to me on Sunday, and the lady is having difficulty speaking, and it's only recently happened to her, and they've come to me and ask what it is, and I said, this particular product may work, but I'm going to ask people to learn more, and I'll get back to you. And I said, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
Straight away, it's expensive. And then they asked, how much? And I said, could cost $60, $70 plus shipping.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do it. And so what I guess what I'm saying is that when you prepare people, then, you can say $100, and then they come back, it's not that much, it's only $60.
Yes.
So it comes back to their need, what they need.
That's right.
And everybody's needs are different.
That's right. And like you say, it's all in how you talk about it. Marianne Stolfus, who got up and said a few words, she had a guy come to her, and I'm just going to close this out. If there's anybody else that wants to talk about product pricing after I'm done, though, unmute yourself when I'm finished with this. But she had a man who was very, very sick and had bone cancer and had gone. Someone had brought him to her, and she just said that she talked to him and just basically said, I'm going to show you the science behind the products that deal with your issues, because at first he didn't want to see her. And so she was able to look at his medical issues that he had, and then just kind of showed the different products, like you said, that she felt like would benefit him. And then the science behind the ingredients that would best benefit the ailments and issues that he was dealing with. And she just said, for her, and she's got a lot of products, she said, I don't even want you to pay me right now. Oh, and I want to tell you guys, this last thing was very cool. Those of you who are at Mower Mountain heard it. But she just said, I want you to try it. And then if you like it, you can buy it. And he did. He got his health increased so fast that she said, that he came back and was talking to her and was just like, he had some other issues that he wanted to talk to her about, but he bought that product. It was all in being able to try those products. Caden got up and did a presentation. I'm just going to close with this. And we've always talked about trust the science, trust Sisel, trust the science. And Caden got up there and says, don't trust us, test us. And I love that so much. I wrote it down when I got up to speak. I kind of reiterated that because I thought it was very cool, because that's what our products are all about. You don't even need to trust us, test us, because these products are so powerful and they do so many good things that's what you need to do. It comes through education, and then it comes through them trying the product. Many times, you can get over that if you have somebody letting them try the product and then coming back and doing that. So is there anybody that wants to talk about product pricing? Christine says, USD 250 product order plus shipping equivalent to AUD 450 cost. Okay. And Sandy says, you will never please everyone. And that's true. You have to take kind of the majority and look at that, and then kind of talk about what will help the most. And again, we've talked about this many times. We can try things, and if it doesn't work, we can try other things too. So a lot of good things that we can do. We just need to, perhaps first order shipping is 50% discount that way. I think we want to go lower than that, actually. So, and things we've been talking about, like them help you to continue purchasing. So we've got some cool things. That was from Julie. Auto ship should be free. Longevity policy is their blessings. Okay, awesome. And I cannot believe it's 6:14, guys. Geez, I apologize for keeping you guys so long. Thank you guys for this country call. Our next call is, I wrote it down, unless someone's got it. Anybody have our call? It's like July 8th. Is it July 8th? Does anybody know that? Yes, July 8th, guys. And we're going to have Karen Carter. She's going to be our next speaker, and she did a great job. She's going to talk about the summer catalog, and we're going to go into the science behind the new products that were in some of the summer packs. So very, very cool and very fun. You'll love the science. You'll be able to have the PowerPoints after. She'll be the start of that. So it'll be a great couple weeks kind of going over our Mower Mountain recaps. So guys, great call today. I really appreciate you guys kind of chiming in, giving me your feedback on that. Much appreciated. As we make these changes and try new things, we've got some great ideas coming up for our market, and I can't wait. But we've got, like, I think Jenny said, we need to absolutely, that first point of contact, make it as easy as possible for people to join, people to pay, people to get our products. That's the goal. We'll be working on that. So always feel free to email me any ideas and suggestions you have after this call. And with that, guys, I'm going to let you go. Have an awesome weekend, and we will see you in 2 weeks with Miss Karen Carter. Have a great weekend, everybody. And the country call, council call, if you guys will stay on, we'll pick up from here and talk for a little bit. So have a great weekend, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, Leisel.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Leisel.
so much.
That was a great meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Linda, for joining us.
Thanks,
You're
Lisa.
welcome.
Thanks, Maurice.
Thanks, Leisel.
Thanks, Valerie. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Bobby. You made it at the end.
Thank you, Leisel.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Leisel. I'll talk to you later.
Yes. We'll plan our Zoom call date. So, all right, guys, we're about ready for this. Let's see here. Oh, wait, no. Okay. Is it just us now, guys? Yes.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay. I can't just cry with Maurice. I don't know how to get him off the phone. Oh,
We have to change these calls. They cannot go this long, Lisa.
I know.
And it's got to be more professional. We can't have all this chit chat on a call. It's doing my head in.
Part of this is as we get into our regular calls, but I do want, if you remember the last call we had, everybody was flip-flopped, and it wasn't the shipping. Everyone was talking about product pricing. Everybody, because I went back and looked at that call, and there wasn't one person that talked about shipping. So I really wanted to talk to them about it at the end of the call. And at the end, it's okay, because when we put the call out, I'll have Stuart chop that off and actually chop off any part that he's good. But I wanted them to have just a chance to either say it again, what they felt, or to hear where we were going and feel a part of that. So, because like I said, everybody on that call, the first time that we talked about product pricing. So.
Can I make a comment, Leisel? I don't know how you do the special packs for $20. Now, I imagine some of those packs would be a lot heavier than others. And so if I were to order similar weighted products as a flat pack, for instance, why would I have to pay $40 or $50 when a flat pack is only $20? What is your process of those flat packs?
What do you mean? What is the process?
Well, each flat pack would weigh differently, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. And so it's a flat rate of $20. Whereas if I were to order the same, not the same products, but the same weighted products just from a normal order, why wouldn't I be able to get that weight of products for $20 the same as a flat pack?
Because basically with those packs, we're kind of making a promo for you guys, kind of taking a hit on the shipping. And we can't do that. There's no way for us, because I've actually brought that up in meetings. There's no way for us to be able to have distributors put things together and then have them calculated in shipping that way. It's just too difficult.
I understand that. I just didn't know what the process was behind the flat packs.
So the process was Tom and I did it. And it basically was, we came up with packs. And like I said, Europe took our pack idea because, you know, they just kind of represent each of the different product lines and areas. And some of them we take a little bigger hit on than others, but that's okay because it evened out and it gave everybody the same price. So
I see.
Yes. You know, so yeah, definitely weight will affect some more, but we didn't want to really do it that way. We wanted everyone to have a great price. So like I say, some we took a little bigger hit on than others. Now I did bring up to Andrea, and she almost killed me, talking about being able to order those packs and not having to call in to do those. She said that we talk about it after Mower Mountain, which I completely understand because Mower Mountain was so crazy. But, you know, I just said we're not getting the benefit of them, the full benefit.
No.
Yeah, I know. But the reality is, if we go to shipping and we just talk about shipping, we can't do free shipping. We can do close. We really can do close. So I just wanted us to get on and finally have the feedback from everyone really on kind of where we're going with that. And then I'm going to pull some meetings together this next week and get with finance and go through and start calculating that, because I think, and if you all agree, I think it's the shipping that we're going to deal with instead of the product pricing, which in my opinion makes it so much easier, because if we have the same pricing that the US has, then we have the same promos. It doesn't have to be this. I mean, honestly, going through and doing something different with pricing was like looking like a nightmare.
Be a headache, a shocking headache.
Yeah.
And also the pricing, because we are USD to, you know, AUD,
right.
Like, you know, 1 week it can be really, really good for us. And of course, if the dollar jumps up a bit more, which hopefully, you know, it will, and USD won't remain the main world currency.
Right.
You know, the products ultimately can get a lot cheaper for us. So to go and change that when it's a little bit moving, is not a good idea for all the reasons that you mentioned, Leisel. It's much better to tackle the shipping. And as Jen pointed out, like, people will pay for a more expensive product. It's the shipping. They just want to feel like they're getting a good rate. Now, the reason it hasn't affected me so much, and I'll tell you why, is because generally what I do is when I'm talking to someone, I don't tell them the price of the shipping. I give them a total price, which of course is not always an option to do. But if I tell them the shipping, I know they'll freak out. So I'll just say, this is the total cost, and that includes shipping, and I won't tell them the shipping. But I have had it where I had a gentleman who's actually a close friend, was ordering for a long time, and I'm always doing his orders like that. And he'd say, well, how much is it? And I said, it's, works out in AUD, it's 350 or whatever it is, when I'd done the conversion, and I added in the shipping. And then one day, which he hadn't seen them, one day he saw the invoice and he saw the shipping amount and he freaked out, and then he actually stopped ordering. So, because
that thing. When he didn't know.
It's a mindset. Yeah, he didn't know. Exactly. He didn't know. But then when he saw it. So that's how I do it to avoid it. So the mindset thing is true. But even if, but the shipping is really, the main thing.
Well, and I'm not promising this at all. But we could get as low as $20 shipping.
Perfect.
Awesome. I'm not, like I say, don't.
No, I won't say anything.
Yeah, no. Because when we were talking about free shipping, I just said it would be awesome to have free shipping, and Tom Jr. was like, it would, and a couple people were just like, it's impossible with Australia, and I said, okay, like 20, and they were like, maybe, and I was like, yes. So I'm going to work on that this week, because how cool would that be, guys?
Wonderful. Remember when we first started and Tom Senior had started off Australia with $10 flat shipping to get the business up and running, and nobody quibbled at that. It was absolutely magic. And so I think we've got to come back to a base rate.
Yeah. What we have is going to stay too. This isn't going to go back up. I mean, this is going to be our shipping rate. So,
because Lisa, what happens, like whatever rate you set it at, we've still got to look at the Australian exchange rate on top of that.
Right.
So you're looking at least another third on top of it. So if it's $20, it's $30, whatever. So, but it makes it a hell of a lot easier than $70 or $80 or $100, which would be fantastic.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, I know for me, I just say to people that this is what, the cost is. And if anyone ever says anything about the cost, I said, well, that's just the way that it is. And if you want good products, you've got to pay for them. And these are the best products in the world, and they actually make a difference and they heal people. So, it's your choice. You either choose to buy crappy ones or you choose to buy good ones. It's going to cost you money. When it comes to the shipping, and people actually might complain about it, which they do, I always just say to them, do you know what? It just is what it is. And, hopefully at some stage that's going to get better. But do you know what? If you want to get good products, you've got to pay for them.
Yes. Well, and I agree 100%. And if you're going to build a business, like a couple of us have mentioned, then you're okay with, our rebates and different things like that. But you have to really be building the business and spending a lot in product. And there's a ton of people who just don't. And those are people that we may need to make it easier for, because those are going to be the majority of people, that you talk to out there. And so here's one thing I was going to ask you guys. If I put some meetings together the first of this week, just so we don't have to wait a whole other 2 weeks to get your feedback, would any of you be willing to have a quick call next Friday to kind of go over some of the stuff we're working on just very quickly?
Okay with me.
Okay.
Is that your Friday or our Friday?
Sorry. Every time I say that, I mean your Saturday. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Saturday's fine.
Yes.
Yep. Saturday's fine, Leisel.
Okay. Leisel, can I just say something? I didn't want to say it on the call with everyone, but just a couple of things. The special deal of the month that has the Sisel Silver and the 4 Restore, I'm pretty sure that's not on our catalogue, and it hasn't been from the start. I did flag it with customer service. Has anyone else actually purchased it and seen it on the catalogue for this month for Australia? Because I couldn't see it on there.
No.
I haven't seen it on there.
Why not?
Yeah, that wasn't added. It wasn't added. I did call about it and let them know, but obviously it didn't get actioned. Just to let you know that's one thing that you could follow up on. And another thing too, I was signing a couple of people up, and I was trying to do it on my mobile on the way to work on Wednesday because of the great, fantastic age pill sale, I might say.
I know.
I was so grateful that customer service actually told me about it, and I called in 2 days before and they told me, and I thought, oh my God. Okay, so I was on the way to work and I was in the car, my friend was driving, and I was trying to sign up this for a friend of a friend, sign up this lady and on my phone, and it kept going back. I'll get to the end just at the shopping cart and then it would revert back to the start. And it did, and then I thought, maybe it was just a bug. So then I tried it again, and then I did it 2 or 3 times on my mobile, and the same thing happened. Of course, then I went to the desktop computer, and it worked beautifully. I had to actually then go into the house and do it. So there's a problem with the sign up for. I don't know if it's US market. It must not be, because I guess people would be complaining. But when you sign up as an Australian distributor, and you get to the end, it flips it back to the start on a mobile device only. So I don't know if anyone else has had that issue, but
I'm going to look into that.
Now, the issue I have is when you're going to use your say a loyalty rewards, or it doesn't really have to be that. It can be anybody that's not going to use, or even if you do use your e-wallet, when you're going through your order and you get to the end, the price still is economy. So then when you go to the next page, it says expedited, but it's a completely different price. So you have to edit it and add another $7, it could be $6 onto your order before you can continue.
Okay, so I'll just economy.
But economy still is there when you do your order. It calculates it on economy. Then you go to the next page and it says expedited, but the expedited is like, say, $53, but before it told me it was like $47. So then you have to edit, you have to add the other $7 on before you can continue.
I was told the economy was off. Remember, we did that like
it is off on that page, but it's not off when you order. So they need to look at that. They need to get rid of it. It's just a nightmare. I've had so many complaints trying to do an order, and they can't do it.
Yeah, so just the way they've coded the system, so they obviously whoever was doing actually the coding, they did it an easy way by sort of leaving it there and then changing it at the last step.
Very good.
So if you use credit card, it's okay. Credit card will adjust it. But if you're using loyalty rewards or if they're using your e-wallet, you have to adjust it yourself or it will not go through.
But, having said that, if Leisel... Sorry, I was just going to say, if we're working out and changing the shipping and say it did work out that we did flat rate $20 shipping, then that would get obviously fixed.
Exactly. Which would be, I'm so excited. It'd be so cool if we get close to that.
That'd be...
I'll take a look at that and have her take that off just during the meantime. But like you said, Katie, that would be taken off anyway.
But how long before the shipping would start?
Well, it took, well, I don't know actually, because I'm thinking about product pricing and what they did for Europe, and that took weeks, but this couldn't be that hard. Well, actually, that's not true because we'd have to go through and calculate. It would be weeks. I'd say a couple weeks. And we'd have meetings where we literally go through everything, and I'd have to work with finance, but only weeks. That's not bad.
No.
So,
great.
Would that be so cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. Only weeks, which I would absolutely love. I had something.
Leisel, I remember when I spoke to you about expedited, and it was still on the order form at the last there with, the ordinary shipping. And I said to you on the Saturday, I expect it to be fixed by Tuesday. So I thank you for doing that. It was fixed by Tuesday, that it was only expedited. So I feel with the $20 flat rate shipping, it'll be definitely a meeting with your financials and Tom and whatever, but then it should be able to be done sort of overnight. So I'll be looking forward to seeing it done as ASAP.
Are you saying you expect it?
I'm not putting any pressure on you.
Are you saying you expect it again?
Yes.
She did say, I expect it by Tuesday. And I said, you're going to have it by Tuesday.
I thought I'd bring your attention back to it, that's all. So thank you.
Yes. Be very careful, Miss Jenny. Okay, one thing we're doing too is I want to talk to you guys about this, and the need to be quiet is just, you guys already know, but we're going through and completely redoing skincare. We're going to have a lot of our same, but we're going to have so many cool things, boosters and stuff. And I really like the number. I'm going to stay with this number for the next couple months in our council. I'll increase it in a little bit, but I'm going to keep it at 4. And I'm going to send you guys some samples. And you can't talk to a soul about it. I mean, Milo's letting a couple people on his council try it, but only a couple because he's got a little bit bigger of a council. But I'd like your feedback on it. I mean, it's products that we don't even have that you're going to love, products that people have wanted for a long time. It's very cool. The new packaging, it's amazing.
Gee, Leisel, that would be great for me. At my age, I feel I'm starting to show my age. You notice I don't put myself on screen anymore? No, there's a reason for that. My camera's not working.
None of you guys are on
You're amazing for your age, Jenny.
Yes, you do.
I think I'll be a good guinea pig.
Leisel, is that the same ingredient that Tom was talking about? Oh, you know, it was a couple of years ago. He'd been using it on his face. I remember Kurt and I did a call with him, and he was saying, you know, he had been putting it on his skin, and you could tell he'd been putting it on his skin.
Yeah, we've got a couple ingredients that he had been working on, and that Tom has also found. Guys, you're absolutely going to love it. It's going to be a really big boost that we need. It's a bigger skincare line, but because we'll be doing boosters for very concentrated things that people might want and stuff. But yes, some of those ingredients that we tested and we wanted to add a long time ago, we're finally utilizing. But the need for people to stay, just to keep it very confidential, what we've done is we were really hoping to have it out by this fall. We pushed the date now to January 1st. We just had our last R&D meeting this week, and I think we're down to final formulas in most of them. So I'm going to be sending them to you with a list of things of fragrance, viscosity, how it feels on, stickiness, different things like that. So, and then getting your feedback as soon as possible.
Awesome.
When do we get it? When do we get it?
I know.
Oh, I need it bad.
I know.
Me too.
Love it.
You know, one thing that would be great to add to this line, Leisel, and, you know, your father talked about it a lot. You know, the most damaging thing to skin, hands down, which I never really understood until he really highlighted it. And then I went and looked into it. But it's the photo aging. It's UV light. On the skin creates, damage to the skin, discoloration, wrinkles very, very, very quickly.
So we have UV blockers. It's actually a big part of our line, Katie.
Good.
Yes.
Okay.
So we've got things that we're going to say out there, but yeah, just kind of reading, just even, your office lights, UVA, UVB, those lights. Yeah. So there's quite a few ingredients in there for that. Also, guys, we have SPF in our day.
Oh my God, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah. So many cool things, a jelly cleanser that is amazing, smells so good. And that's the one thing I really wanted to improve, a few things just like that. Of course, exfolium is a great product. And it's the same, but the color is going to be very cool and changing. So you guys will see these. And like I say, just keep it totally under wraps. We don't want Australia to be the person that says anything to anybody, because we have a while until January. We'll be bringing in all the packaging, and that's what we've been testing, is how it goes in the packaging and stuff. But when I give you guys the samples, I'll probably sit with you guys and do a little PowerPoint because we have one done of each product. And go kind of go over how the whole line works. But it is super exciting. And then, believe it or not, we're already looking at a few starter cosmetic products. So we're opening that line up again, probably not a full line, because you know how hard it is to get consumables and blushes, eyeshadows, those things last forever, but probably starting with lip glosses and mascaras and different things like that. So we're already kind of talking a little bit about that. Most of the work has been going into the samples of the skincare, but completely reformulated line. The packaging looks new, fresh, the colors, it's not so glamorous like my dad had, which I love. He loved that too, but it's definitely a younger vibe, which I love and you guys will love, but not too young that it's not something you guys will like too. So very cool. Like I say, packaging, moving to tubes and a few other things, which makes it easier to use. So you guys are going to be so excited, and you guys are going to love testing it. So I can't wait to send you guys some of them. We're about to that point. So when you guys yes.
I'm away from home for 4 months in North Queensland, so I will text you the address to send those skincare products to, please.
That sounds great. Yeah, just let me know where we are. I'll make sure to send it to you. So
Yes.
that
Thank
will
you.
be very easy. Like I said, for us, the first order is getting the shipping. We're going to move to shipping. I was talking to Tom and he's like, where are you guys going? I'm like, I know. He's like, what do you guys want? And I'm like, we're going to figure it out. And then we'll get on it. And then, like I say, we've got our list. And next week, because we're going on, geez, can you believe almost 2 hours? And I promise I'm not going to do that to you guys a lot. Because I just don't want to. But doing things, like Sandy say, I'd really like to redo our call. I'd like to have some distributors on, some testimonials, and really have a format for it. And have it be where not one person can unmute themselves ever. And it's gone. Listen, we've really come to a call where we haven't the numbers that we used to have. So if you remember the calls that we used to have, nobody could unmute themselves. No one.
Exactly.
That's actually a feature of Zoom. If you pay for the extra webinar feature, then you bring them across as panelists and then nobody else can interrupt unless they've been promoted as a panelist. But that's an extra feature. Kurt's got it on his call.
And I think we have that. I just haven't used it because we've been small and we haven't had a council. So it's kind of been a mini council in a couple of ways, but we've had people take advantage of that. But I'll be going through and kind of putting something together for you guys to look at. And then we'll be going over some of those other issues, but that's kind of where we are today. Is everybody fine with the direction we're going?
Yeah, that's great, Liz.
Yeah. Leisel, I'd like to see how corporates send out like the Inspire call. They do that 2 days beforehand. Once we get going a little bit more, it'd be really great for Australia to get.
Yeah, because I never see hardly Harry's on the Inspire call.
Yeah. But, like I'm saying, like how you just do high team, and then we have to get it to people, but then quite often it comes later. But if everybody could get one from corporate, there's so many probably Australian people that would get on that don't know to get on. So we can encourage more people. So
you guys get the texts that Milo and I have been doing recently?
No, we only get the Inspire. I get the Inspire call ones. I have been on one of them, which is fantastic.
They're awesome. Okay, well, let me tell you the Inspire call. The next one is, we always do it the first Monday of every month. Now in July, it's around the 4th of July. So we're going to do it the second Monday in July. But from then on out, the Inspire call is always the first Monday at 7:00 Mower Mountain Standard Time. So it never changes. And here's also one thing I can do, because I heard Katie say something about finding out the deal of the day. They were really weird about us, kind of talking about the deal of the day, but Milo and I have been talking to them about at least letting people know the date. So I can send out and put on our corporate page when the deal of the day is coming, because we have that weeks in advance. So I won't be able to say what it is, but at least you guys will have the day so you're ready.
Can we know what product it is 48 hours before?
Yes, we can know that 48 hours. Well, okay, wait. I did ask that.
Do you know what?
I heard Milo tell his counsel, and I said, you're not supposed to be saying that. And if he tells his counsel, then I'll tell my counsel.
Lee, Katie, actually, thank you so much, Katie, for actually, Katie said she rang through to customer service. They told her it was April, right? Now, you got to get that. Katie actually let us know, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
We're grateful. So we could actually prepare our people, because what you don't get that is here in Australia, when the normal thing about deal of the day comes out, no one gets to it for 24 to 48 hours when it's finished.
Yeah.
Because people don't get to their email. They're working. We're in totally off time to what the US is. And by Katie giving us those 2 days notice, honestly, I was able to get out there and let people know, and it made a massive difference. Absolutely massive difference. to know what the product was and to know when it was. And so that, we actually had, I think we had 3 days, Katie, of preparation, didn't we?
Well, yeah, it's a miracle because customer service, I called in. I didn't even ask. I would know I was just chit-chatting about something. And then the agent said, oh, well, we've got deal of the day coming up. And I said, oh, that's great. And she said, yeah, it's going to be 20% off age pill. And I said, oh, really? Wow. Oh, you sure? And, I asked her twice. And then I told Kurt and he goes, well, I didn't know about it. And nobody's meant to know what it is until the day. So I called back a second time to ask again, just to verify that I didn't mishear what she was saying. And another agent told me
was that her name?
I don't know, but another agent the second time told me, which was a different agent. And they're like, yeah, no, it was. And then so I'm telling everyone. And then I got really nervous because I was like, here's me promoting it, telling everyone, we're sending out emails, sharing it with everyone. And then I thought, oh God, what if it's not actually that product? And then I saw it on the day that it was. And I was like, oh, thank God it was that product.
We definitely know the date weeks in advance. And then Milo and I are the ones that chooses the product. And so the date I can give you way far in advance, and then I can give you the product. I'll talk to Milo. If he's giving it to his counsel, then, what's the harm in announcing?
Well, at least 2 days. At least 2 days.
It's going to promote sales, honestly, especially in Australia. Honestly, I miss deal of the day all the time. And I should. Simply because of the time difference, and we're all working and we've all got other things happening in our world, and for it just to come and we're not on email 24/7, and for that to come, and then it be gone by a couple of hours on whatever day it is, because we only get a couple of hours, basically we get the morning, and if people are working, they can't get to it. They can't get to it. If we've got, like I had people ringing me saying, can you do an order for me? And I got up at bloody 12 o'clock at night to do orders for people because, they weren't going to be able to, and I just sort of, oh my goodness, we need to, if we can get that. I was so grateful, Katie, because that was such a good special, and that really helped our volumes,
Well, and we knew when Kukoiden was that it would be a big one. So, yeah, we knew it would be. So I'll work on that, and I'll definitely give you
also people that are on a limited income. If they happen to have ordered that product just a little bit earlier in the month, they hesitate they can't find the money to spend the extra on the deal of the day. So if they've got prior warning, a few days at least, they're not feeling disheartened about it.
A few days, because if you look at it from corporate side, and this we kind of brought up before, if we say it too far in advance, then people who want to buy it here, they'll wait, and they sound out.
Of course they will. Yes. So, no, only a few days.
Yeah, right. And I can easily do days for sure. So I've written that down, and I'm going to put that on my calendar because, like I said, we know the date in advance.
So with that deal of the day, do you have to ring in, or can you order it online? Because I ordered mine online, but I didn't get any discount. Mine was
20% off. You must have been outside the store.
Well, it didn't work on mine. Mine was still $3.29, and I ordered 6-pack of age pill.
What time did you order it? Was it Wednesday?
When I saw your email, I'll have to look back and see what day it was.
It was on Wednesday. It was Wednesday our time. So if you ordered any time during Wednesday, I checked even still late that night, and I could still see the 20% on it. Would have been, it was still running because I was doing orders up until late.
Yeah, I was.
Check your date.
The 20th. So when was the 20th?
It's the 21st here.
I know, but I ordered it the 20th.
Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, but it was the 21st here. If you read the email, it was the 20th.
Okay, so I ordered it too early.
Yeah.
That can happen too. This is the problem between the time zone.
I know.
I saw it and I ordered it, but now I was out of it then, wasn't I?
Yeah, you ordered it too early.
It's crazy.
Let me see if I can help you still get a discount.
Yeah, I didn't get it at all.
But that's the reason why, because you went the day before it. We're 16 hours ahead of America. So ours.
I put it in the email. I said that it was it would be Wednesday our time in Australia.
Yeah, see, I didn't read that. I just got the email and I just got on and ordered it.
Yeah. Read the whole
See, a lot of people don't read stuff. So too much information, too much writing. I don't read it. Too much for me.
Okay, well, that didn't work well for you, did it, girl?
No, it didn't.
But I will definitely, we can do some definite planning on Deal of the Day because I can see it makes a big difference to everybody for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. All right. Anything else before we leave? It's been a couple hours and it's like zip by for me. That's kind of fun. But oh my gosh, my allergies, you guys, I was just so stuffy. But I'm so excited about the shipping. I really am. We have to, and we've been growing a little bit, Australia. I get sales first of every week. And we're slowly, starting to grow a little bit. We need something super exciting. And we have to talk about some of these things that we come up with. It just can't just be, okay, it's there. We have to do some fun launches and some very cool things, let everybody know and make some big deals out of it, So kind of think about some fun things that we can do as we, get different shipping or we get different, whatever it is. Because we really need to build some excitement in our market. We just do.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Yeah. So
we need to make a really big deal about the shipping. I think
that's going to be something that's going to be just super huge.
Absolutely. It needs to be put out to absolutely every distributor, every customer, everything, in Australia and New Zealand, because it's such a huge deal here about the shipping that if people, get excited about it, well, then they're more inclined to order, and I've got people who say when the shipping's better, I'll order some more again.
I know. I've heard that from other distributors. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about is a win-back campaign. I think it's been long enough, and maybe you guys can tell me, maybe it's not. You guys would know better than me, but some of those win-back campaigns can be very successful, kind of going back to older distributors, talking about, hey, we'd love, to have you back, and offering something for them to order, something super enticing. And we kind of need to think what that is. But I'd like to do that. What do you guys think about a win-back campaign?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Good idea.
And if you guys can just kind of think, right now I'm going to work on the shipping, but what would be like if someone opened it, what would be super enticing to say, okay, I'm going to place an order? You know what I mean? Think of that.
Know.
What?
Well, basically, obviously, if you did the free shipping, that's fantastic. But the age pill thing, I mean, for us, for Jen and Sandy and for me, I can't speak for obviously Jenny, but a lot of us have built the business on the age. We love that product.
Well, came over for the age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, putting that incentive, that's why I was freaking out when I saw 20% off, because I don't think there's ever been a sale on the age ever.
And I put it in and didn't get it.
You know what we should
How
have
many
done?
of you include the information on STEMalytics when you're talking about the age?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, definitely.
It might be a double whammy, just two products.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, I like that.
Have a document, have a PDF about it that goes with it, and how extraordinary these two work together for longevity. That might be an actual really big boost, and have a good special on it, and that people can come back with something like that maybe, or even if they're not coming back, maybe have that as a special for Australia.
Yeah.
Because it is really important product.
Oh, sorry. When the skincare products come out, there could be another promotion with one of the added, perhaps anti-aging skincare products.
Yeah.
As an introduction to that as well.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say skincare too. Once that comes out, that would be a fantastic win-back campaign with that.
Well, we could have several win-back campaigns.
Yeah.
If they're spaced long enough apart, and just say, for those of you who loved our skincare, take a look at this, and we'd love to have you back, buy our skincare and get this, or, just something like that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I like that.
idea.
We did that a couple times actually with the new stuff we've got coming out. Besides even skincare. So yeah, okay, good. We got some fun ideas, guys.
Hey, Leisel, I love the fact that we've got the lip balms. Are they staying? Are they staying?
That's great.
They can stay.
They're super popular because they're a great price point. We need a few more products that are a little more less pricier. They're products that people use every single day. So that's what I'm really excited about. And the self-tanner. People hardly tan in tanning beds anymore. You'd be surprised, the Amish people, like, I don't know if any of you know Joe King, but I grabbed his order in the hall. And of course, I thought he was going to get the Max Motion horse product because there was like 10. I'm like, 10? You bought 10 of the Max Motion? And he's like, he hurried and grabbed it. And I grabbed it from him. And it was the self-tanner. I'm like, you bought 10 self-tanners? And he's like, for my daughters. Like, okay, that's fine. But, you know, it's a great product for our companies. And my kids all do self-tanners, just so do I, because I'm very pale. And, of course, it's the safe way to get some sun. And I think that's going to be a great seller for us.
Oh, yeah. My daughter's so excited because she's as white as anything, and me and my boys are all dark, and she's white like her dad. And she said, oh, my goodness, I'm so excited it's coming.
And I'm white like my dad. My dad's so white, too. So this is a very fun product. And so we'll have some ones. And, of course, like I said, a pet line, because I know, Katie, you were talking about that years ago. And dog expanding some the hair care, and there's some fun ideas in there with us too. So it's really a fun time in Sisel as we're really expanding the product lines. And like I said, there's going to be a program that I think you guys are going to love that's definitely for our demographic. So good things happen to people.
Great.
Beautiful.
Okay, send me an email on anything you need. I'll give you guys some updates on some stuff. Next Saturday morning, same time as our country call, 9:00. Will that work?
Yeah.
Okay. See you then.
Thanks. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everybody.
See you, lady. Appreciate it.